Why do you hate your job? Why does your job make you feel miserable? You got that job that you really wanted. It pays you well. But a few months in and you start feeling unmotivated and uncertain if this is what you want to be doing. Something feels weird. You start feeling unfulfilled. You don't know what you are doing with your life. Does this sound familiar? Because this is far too common than you think, and if this resonates with you, I would like to invite you to stay with me and watch this video until the end, because I promise you that this is going to give you a lot of clarity, and this might even answer some of your questions. If your goals are not set in a positive towards motion, the goals become unsustainable in the long run. And in case you're wondering, yes, our goals can be set from a negative state of mind. That is one of the reasons we feel unmotivated most of the time, and we will be getting right into it in a moment. The reality is, most people are motivated away from the things that they fear will cause them pain. And pain is a very strong motivator that can get you up to make decisions and to get at it. It's a powerful way of getting things moving, which is why we often hear some people work extremely well under pressure. However, once the threat or the pain is gone, the motivation fades. My name is Vina Raji and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am a certified trauma healing practitioner with a focus on alternative healing modalities, where I bring the focus back to mind-body connection, which focuses on tapping to our deepest core wounds on a subconscious level and helping people heal on a cellular level and releasing emotional pain from their body. I do now offer one-on-one services, so if you would be interested to book a session with me, all details are available in this video below. And today I am going to talk about why a lot of people struggle and they feel unmotivated with their jobs. A large number of adults are motivated to get a job or to stay in a job because they are motivated away from their fear. Of course, this doesn't sound bad at all on the surface, but allow me to explain further how this may impact your motivation in the long run. Say you need a job to sustain yourself and your family. So what happens if you do not have a job? You will face financial constraints. You will not be able to provide for your family. You will not be able to pay the bills on time. So all this is driven by a need. It's a fear-based motivation, and it's a practical one to have, if I might add. However, your unconscious mind doesn't understand your desires. Your unconscious mind understands what you believe, and your belief is driven by need. And this is a need that is based on fears. So let's say before you leave home today, you decide you want to make some money, but you did not specify the exact amount of money you wish to make. So when you step outside, and let's say if you stumble upon a $10 note by the walkway, and if you picked it up, your unconscious mind now considers your goal for the day completed. You have achieved your goal of making some money. However, if you set your mind that you want to make $100 for the day, so now when you pick up the $10 note, you still have not achieved your goals for the day. So that's a strong motivator that is going to keep you going for the rest of the day until you achieve your goal of making $100. The unconscious mind will always ensure that you achieve what you set out to achieve. However, the unconscious mind needs a very specific instruction to follow. So now that you know that you need to have a job to sustain yourself, your goal of getting a job with X amount of salary is because your goal of having a job is for sustenance. So once you get the job that you wanted with the salary that you had hoped for, and a few months in, you start feeling unmotivated. And the reason for this is because the fears and the threats are no longer present. And your unconscious mind knows that you will be receiving paycheck at the end of each month, your bills will be paid, and you are going to be fine. And most importantly, you have already achieved your goal of getting a job with X amount of salary. So now that you have achieved your goals, there is nothing left in you to motivate you to keep going. And this is why any goal that is driven by need or fears are not sustainable for the long term. This is why you have to first understand if your goals are sustainable. Now let's look at fresh graduates when they are looking for jobs. They would be more than willing to take on any new opportunities that come their way because there's a strong motivation as they step into the workforce, and everything is a new experience, and they are motivated by a strong desire for a better position, for a better salary, and they know that they will have to work their way up. So the initial years, they are often driven by ambition and the need to succeed because there is a goal in their mind which takes several years to reach. We see this with a lot of young grads that they are driven by the goal of wanting to have a nice car, nice house. They are driven by material desires that they wish to achieve by a certain age. And all these factors are strong motivators. And this is also something that we see with a lot of ambitious people. And these are often the kind of people who will not stop as they achieve. They keep setting new goals for themselves as they go. So as you can tell, there is a strong motivation that keeps them going at all times, because the moment we achieve our goals, and if we do not have new goals set or planned in our mind, we will reach a point of feeling unmotivated because we have already gotten everything that we wanted. The most common grievances that I hear from adults who are well into their 30s is that they have a secure, stable, well-paying job. However, they feel unmotivated. And this can happen for more than one reason. So in their 30s, a lot of them have reached their goal that was probably set 10 years ago of wanting to have a certain paycheck, buying homes, or achieving their material goals. And it somewhat stops there because they don't know what they want next, or they are unable to explore their passion or areas of interest due to their own limiting beliefs and fears. And I can say this with conviction. A lot of them hold themselves back at this stage because failing in 30s is a lot harder than failing in 20s, especially when you have reached a point of having all the material comforts that you have so deservingly worked hard for, and rightfully so. And this unfortunately creates an internal conflict that keeps them stuck in this loop, which creates unfulfillment, because the fact is you need to have active goals at every stage of your life, no matter where you are, in order for you to feel motivated to keep going. So how do you move forward towards the next goal? The secret is to reframe your goals in a positive direction that will make it sustainable as you continue to work towards your goals. So if these goals are driven by fear, as we have established earlier, the need for having a job is for sustenance, then you are very likely to feel unmotivated a few months or few years down the road. So what you have to do here is to self-reflect and evaluate if there is anything else that is keeping you in a stuck state that prevents you from moving forward. Now, for example, if let's say you have a goal of wanting to get married at a certain age, but you have not been able to move forward and meet new people because you had bad experiences in the past. Now, there is something that you now have to work towards healing your past trauma so that you can finally now move forward towards your goal. Now, let's say if you want to be a speaker, maybe you want to be a content creator, maybe you want to be a singer. However, you have a deep fear of facing the camera because it gives you so much of anxiety each time you get in front of the camera, then this particular issue is going to hinder you from being able to move towards your goals. Therefore, it is important to recognize that there's a much deeper issue here that you need to elicit. So the next task is to identify what is causing these fears, getting down to the root cause of the problem and working towards addressing and fixing these issues. And once you are able to address these fears, and now that these fears are gone, you are making way for you to be able to move forward and align yourself with your goals. And this is what we need to understand. Sometimes we are not able to move forward and align ourselves with our goals because there is often underlying fears such as limiting beliefs or some unresolved trauma that would hold us back from our potential. If you want to know whether your goals are set in a negative away direction or positive towards direction, you need to ask yourself the question of what are your goals and why these goals are important to you. If most of your answers are coming from a place of lack of fear, like you want to achieve certain goals because you want to prove a point, or maybe because achieving those goals would make you look good. Now, these are goals that is coming from a place of fear. However, if your goals are driven by the need for having financial freedom so that you can travel to places that you wish to visit, so that you can have more time to do things that you love. Now, these are positive goals and these are coming from a place of inspiration. And this is what will keep you going because these are more sustainable. However, if it's coming from a place of fear, like wanting to prove your point to someone, then you are going to be in for an emotional roller coaster, and these are not going to be sustainable. So a simple shift that you can start making is by asking yourself, what do you want from your next job? Do you want a better job because you want a promotion, or do you want a better salary, or maybe you want to do something else? You have to get honest with what you really want. If you're struggling to understand if your goals are currently set in a positive towards motion or negative away motion, one way you can do so is by getting help from a coach like myself to help you understand if there could be any limiting beliefs or trauma that could potentially be hindering you from moving towards your goal. Or alternatively, this is also something that I have personally found to be very helpful, is to journal your thoughts. So you can start by asking yourself why this particular goal is important to you, and pay attention to your answer and ask again why that particular outcome is important to you. And repeat this 5 times before you arrive at an answer. Now, alternatively, you can also write your thoughts and your feelings on a journal, because this would be a safe space for you to express your emotions without trying to intellectualize your thoughts. The superpower of journaling that no one talks about. The concept of journaling is meant to help you express your thoughts and emotions unfiltered. It is a safe space for expression without judgment. Your body is not built to take on emotions all the time. You need to process, you need to release it. So if you don't have an outlet to express your emotions, write it down and keep it safe. You can always go back and take a look at it when you are in a better headspace, and you will be amazed at how much clarity it can provide to your own thoughts and emotions. And this is one great way for you to analyze if your goals are sustainable for the long term.